Welcome traders, welcome back to another week. All right, want to get right into it. Last week was fire, it was lit. All right, JPY, as I said, was the focus, and JPY did exactly what we were looking for. Just want to show you, those of you that are new here, want to show you inside the VIP Discord. Excuse me. If you're new here, be sure to like. If you're not new here, be sure to like. That helps us out. Like, subscribe, and if you see here, this in the Forex trade ideas, this is where I send out analysis, signals, and we can see here AJ hit our TP3, all JPY sell for 205 pips. All right, I gave multiple different projections, right? So all together, I mean, over 1,200 pips when it comes to the JPY pairs that we were looking at. All right, and if we look at the exact signals I gave out with take profit and stop loss was GJ and AJ for this week. But me personally and some other people in the group were able to take advantage of some of the other ones as well. We look at GJ hit TP for 100 pips. All right, so just based off of the signals, that's over 300 pips that we caught. All right, not including the other projections and how myself and some others in the group were able to take advantage. All right, we see here, Danelia said thanks. She was able to catch two of the signals. For GJ and AJ, $782 profit. All right, that's $782. The price that I'm charging for this, guys, is like she made more than what it costs in a whole year. All right, and on two trades, so it's really valuable. And we hear Shake Empire or Shaq Empire. You see right here, he was up big on these trades, and I believe he has a funded account. All right, my sis here making profits, so people are taking advantage of this thing. All right, we have several different funded traders in here. I had a student that actually just was able to pass her funding challenge. So if you're looking for a community where you could come in, you can capitalize on what we're doing here. You definitely want to tap into VIP, or if not, just join the feed Telegram. If you're somebody that feel like you can, you know what you know, but the projections and the ideas I send out can help you too. Hey, by all means, join the free Telegram. I send out opportunities in there for you to still be able to take advantage, yourself. All right. So here on a monthly chart, I'm starting with the dollar index. All right. We can see that the dollar is starting to show some correction. Last week, uh, it was it was a little choppy back and forth. But if we look at this on a monthly, because excuse me, this is NFP week. So with that, we understand non-farm payroll and these monthly candles are closing. Tomorrow's the first. So this is the monthly candle on the dollar index. And we can see it's giving a strong wick rejection, looking like it's going to close as like a nice shooting star rejection, kangaroo tail, nice pin bar, whatever you want to call it, strong wick away on the monthly. All right. So that could be a sign that dollar could be set to correct in a way. Because if we look where it's at here, it's rejecting from a major level, right? That it retested as resistance and had a big fall. So that's exactly where that monthly candle is now rejecting from. All right. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how things develop this week with NFP. So if we look where price is currently at, price came down and retested previous structure that I was anticipating at least to come back here. Now I would say we can either find support here and continue, but if the dollar continues to break below here, then chances are we're going to see a deeper correction down before any continued move up on the dollar. All right, so we'll have to see how things develop within that, because we still are in a daily uptrend. All right, but the dollar could be due for a bigger correction. So let's see how things develop going into this week. All right, so GJ, again, GJ was a signal that was given out. All right, and we were able to catch it. So initially, price broke down, came down, retested here, and fell. All right, dropped, decided to pump higher to this major top of supply. After that, we had a strong rejection away. All right, this was actually a beautiful entry right here where I was looking for more entries on this pair when price broke below 165, came back on the retest, and just continued away. All right. So when you trade in these pairs, it's all about just trading in line with structure. All right, so now going into this week, we see here on the weekly chart, we got a strong bearish indication that we could be due for more downside. All right, here on the daily, we formed a big bearish engulfing. which is a sign that the sellers are still in control, and we saw price continue to fall. All right, so let's look where we potentially can go moving into this week. So I will also take like a daily trend line right here. All right, let's go down to the 4-hour. Let me adjust this a bit, and we can see what price is doing here clearly. All right, so I got my trend line. So price actually just gave us a trend line break right here. Trend line break. But not only a trend line break, is closing below a psychological or quarters level of structure. All right, and just looking at structure in general, we can see it's still showing bearish indication. All right, it's still showing bearish indication here. So with this, really on this retest right here, we could potentially see price just continue from here. So this is a way, you know, I normally don't like to trade Sundays. So this is a way that I will look, you know, I will be patient on this one. Let's see from here, price, this little bearish flag right here. If price continues to break down, all right, I would say, you know, catch the pullback and just continue to ride that wave, right? Or, you know, if you're equipped to trade this, you can just trade the breakdown of this flag, all right? Either that, or, you know, you want to be careful because price could correct a little higher. But overall, even if it did correct a little higher, I will expect it to, you know, stay around this level of structure. If I want to retest a little higher, that will be the level I would look for. Either here or price continues up, right, to the next level of structure, something like this, maybe a retest around here, and then look for the continuation. All right. But overall, my bias is still to the downside. Just going to be patient and react to what price does right here. Because if it does come down, because you could look to the left and, you know, this is pretty much like a level of support right here around 162, you know, a little lower than that. All right. So if price does come down and just continue to break down, you know, you can wait for that for more confirmation and just catch the pullback or the retest of that, and then take this down going towards anywhere between 160.8 to 160. All right. So we just got to see how price is going to develop right here. So either a breakdown or a deeper pullback before you then get the continued bearish wave. EJ. So EJ was another beautiful play. I could show you this right here. Actually, I sent this out in the Telegram, but at times I do post on TradingView. So right here, this was EJ right here. You know, I sent this out, said watch for the retest. It was clear that, you know, all signs were still pointing for a continuation down. Just had to wait for that pullback and retest. It did that, textbook, and just continued down from there. All right. So going into this week, it's still showing signs of bears. So we're going to see how we could potentially play this. So if we do a top-down analysis, all right, again, remember, like I said, the monthly candle, this monthly candle is going to close tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 1st. So if you look where we at, price basically rejected from a major level of supply, a supply area. All right. Now this monthly candle is closing. It's going to close bearish engulfing. So that's a good sign that price has a lot more. It could definitely move down further. All right. Seeing the bearish engulfing on a monthly. So all we do is we go to the smaller time frame and we find our entry based or our structure based setups on a smaller time frames going in line with what the higher time frame is showing us. All right. Weekly, nice breakdown. We see we also broke structure right there to the left. All right. So we'll work our way down to the daily. You see here, price broke this level of support or broke this structure level. All right. So now going down to the 4-hour, price actually gave an opportunity to end the week. We broke structure, retest, and continued. On that retest was your opportunity. All right. And then continued down. So now it's still showing bearish signs. So for this, I would say let it correct. We could possibly start the week with a correction. All right. If it does give you a correction like this, you know, possibly a retest, look to sell this continuation to the downside. All right. Of course, price for me, price we need to stay below this structure level. All right. If it was to come up and just impulsively break above, then, you know, my bias can potentially shift. But right now, all signs for me is still pointing to the downside. And I'm looking for this. It came short of it, but I'm about 60 pips short. I'm looking for this to push down into 135. Right. And you looking to the left, looking for it to come within this structure play. All right, at least to around 135. So that's my next point on EJ. Correction, continuation. That's what I'm leaning towards. But All we can do is just react to what price gives us at that given time. All right. That's EJ. AJ was another beautiful play that was given. I believe I posted this on Telegram as well right here. Let's see, right here. Simple, easy setup. All right. Pulled back, retested the high, and just continued. All right. So we was able to catch the 205 pip take profit on that. So now let's see what we're potentially looking at now. So again, we got weekly candle close and we got monthly candle about to close. All right. On AJ, you know, the monthly, if we look at the monthly on AJ, it's at this major top of supply. The highest it's been in really about what, 7 years. All right. So it's due for a fall. If we look at the weekly is closing nice bearish rejection on a weekly. You know, this could be seen as an evening star. It could be seen as also, this is like a shooting star rejection. All right. This is showing straight bearish indication. All right. Every time price came up here, it pretty much has some type of rejection. All right. And it's holding there on the weekly. So that's showing clearly that we should still be looking for sales. All right. So now we work our way down to the smaller time frame. How are we going to trade this? We look at this on the daily. All right. Price came in this level of supply, gave us that breakdown. So this basically formed a double top right here. This was a double top, bearish engulfing here on the daily, right? Nice sign that the sellers are still in control, and you see price continue to fall. So within a double top, this will be considered our neckline of this double top. A lot of times you'll see price come back and retest that. And that's actually pretty much what price did right here. We broke structure. On this retest was another opportunity for a sell, and price just continued down from there. All right, so I'm also looking for a continued drop. So another way to look at this, we could take our daily trend line too. All right, and you can see price just broke that as well. Just broke our daily trend line. Go down to the 4 hour. You can see the break a little more clear. I mean, I always like to make sure my trend line is adjusted how I like it. You know, wick to wick. Wick is a part of price, but still, we still got a nice firm break of that. All right, so going into this week, I'm still anticipating sales on AJ. So on this pull up, this pullback, maybe, you know, I'm looking for a retest of this trend line, a retest of previous structure right here, you know, and then look for that potential continuation down to 92 or lower. All right, so this is real simple. The structure is clear, so just let it pull back. Ideally, it'd be nice to see a pullback on a retest for a continuation down. All right, CAD-JPY was another one that played out to a T actually. I could show you this here. Let me see. Played out. I sent this out just so y'all know I can't make this up. This is all price action right here. I sent this out. This was CAD-JPY on the retest. All right, gave us the beautiful breakdown. Beautiful breakdown. So if I look at this, that was this right here on this retest. Nice breakdown. You know, I was able to catch some of that. I believe some of the people in the group was able to catch some of that. But it was simple. I sent this out in the Telegram as well. So now price completed. It completed the move I really was looking for. I was looking for price to come down towards 103.5. You see it came, pretty much made it around that area. All right. But now what's next? What's next? So if we look at the monthly, price is at this top. Notice how all of these is pretty much at major levels of supply, and it's rejecting from that same level. So it's the first time retesting this in what, 7 years. So we're getting the rejection on the monthly. We got the rejection on the weekly. We could possibly see more move to the downside. So let's see how we can look at this. So for the next play, let's see. For the next play, I could take this trend line too. Price already broke that. All right, broke that channel. So now I would like to see a break of this structure. All right, I would like to see a breakdown in here. We get a breakdown in here, you know, then catch a pullback, maybe a retest, and then catch that continuation. All right, I would like to see that before I potentially look for sales. Or, you know, you could come to the 1 hour and you could clearly see that price is still within a downtrend. All right, you can see, you know, price is just made up of impulses and corrections. So you get these little corrective waves, these little bearish flags. If you're talking about the sell direction, all right? And you look for these opportunities here on these corrective moves. So really to end the week, price did come back. A lot of times you'll see price come back and retest previous structure. It actually did that right here. So it could possibly still pull back a little more, and you could possibly catch that continuation wave down now. Or, you know, it already, rejected. So, you know, to have more confirmation, you could wait, like I said, for the break of structure. Maybe a retest of that or a pullback, and then catch that next wave going down towards 102. All right. So it's still, you know, opportunities within this to catch the next wave for short. EU. All right. So like I said, with the dollar is looking like the bears can come in a little more and, you know, give us a bigger correction. So if I'm looking at EU, let's say on the weekly, you know, we've been in a downtrend. But if I look at that, like the previous weekly candle close, bullish engulfing right here. All right. After that bullish engulfing, price slightly pulled back. It pulled back of that. And now we could be setting up for another bullish wave. But to me, it's still going to be corrective. All right. So this is actually my ideal area for a potential sell continuation. All right. So I would say let price correct itself. It could potentially correct itself here. Let me see. I gotta forgive, man. My dog going crazy right now. I gotta forget the noise. But it could potentially pull up and retest, you know, let's say around here. At this level of structure, I would look for the potential continuation down. All right, something like that. Potential continuation down there. That's my ideal setup for the short, because what I can also do is I can take my fib from this initial. All right, it's roughly around 61.8. So anywhere between here, right, at the retested structure, ideally, is what I like to see if I'm gonna catch the continuation wave down. All right, so if I'm looking at GU, let me see. GU pretty much the same thing. If I'm looking at this, let's say on the weekly, or even if I'm looking at this on a monthly, all right, look how this monthly candle is pretty much rejecting right here. Like this is a strong rejection. All right, this is a strong rejection, strong wick rejection. That could be a sign that price is looking to give a deeper correction up. And, you know, we roughly within these areas of demand where price normally rejects for a move to the upside. All right. So if we factor it in with the dollar potentially correcting more, that can have something to do with it. All right. So on a weekly or even a daily, the price continues up from here, breaks in above structure. I can really see this coming back to 1.25 around this area of structure before we get any more continuation move to the downside. Because this is the daily, and we can see we are still in the downtrend on the daily, looking at these lower lows and lower highs clearly. But if the dollar continues bearish here on the correction, then let's say if the GU right here continues up, breaking above structure, then I would say look for, if it pulls back, that can be an opportunity for continuation play up. And we could potentially see this come back up, you know, I would say towards 1.25 possibly before continuing down. All right. Or, you know, it could retest within these levels of resistance and then continue. But we just got to react to what price gives us. All right. But overall, we could get one more wave up, you know, before any more continuation move to the downside. All right. Now, if the opposite happens and we get a sharp breakdown of here, I would say catch the correction and continue. All right. So you just got to understand how to catch both scenarios and just react to price. Same thing with AU. AU is around this key level of structure around 0.7 even. So this is a major level. Looking to the left, major level of demand. All right. Major level of demand that eventually became resistance here and continued. So this is a strong structure play, because if you look to the left, you know, there was always some type of, this was a major level. It was demand over here, became supply or resistance over here. All right, so this is a level to pay attention to. Is price going to reject strong, or is it going to break above it? And with this daily rejection and the dollar correcting, we possibly can see AU give a bigger correction up. Now, if we look at this from a higher time frame perspective, excuse me, we can see that the last monthly candle closed bearish engulfing. All right. Now, this monthly candle is closing with a strong rejection from a key level around 0.67, strong rejection. So it could be just correcting that, you know, before then possibly continuing. But looking at this monthly candle, it's forming like a bullish pin bar or like a bullish hammer. So that could be a sign of more correction up. Now, in this scenario with AU, if price gives, because initially ended the week with some type of rejection from there. All right. But if price comes up and actually breaks above this level of structure, I would say on a pullback, maybe a retest, you could catch a continuation up. All right. And, you know, we can at least come back to this level of resistance here. All right. So we just got to see how price want to play, or, you know, we could go higher possibly. If we want to break past that, we could see this come up higher towards 7.25 before any more continuation down. All right. So a lot of this depends on what the dollar is going to do. So just keep that in mind. But if it does hold here, because this could still hold, you know, if this holds on this retest and then gives a move away, you know, you could continue to look for the pullback opportunities and continue to write that down. And lastly, ending it with USDCAD. So you can see here on USDCAD, price is, if we go to the month, the weekly, the monthly is having a strong rejection. Like if we look at this candle on a monthly, like that's a big sign of more drop. This big rejection right here, big shooting star, pin bar rejection. All right, that's a sign of more downside. Now it is the monthly, so it could take some time or it could pull back on the smaller time frame. But if we look at this even on the smaller time frame, on the, let's say on the daily, price is breaking below this level of structure. All right. And I believe I covered this before, and I was saying if we get a break below here, then that's a sign we can continue. All right, we got the break below there. We slightly retesting here now, and we could potentially see this continue down. All right, so the way that I would trade this moving forward, all right, is let's say this here. I'll take this level, this little array. If price continues down here, breaking lower lows within this structure, continue to, you know, look for a pullback opportunity or a retest and continue to write that down. All right, because judging off of it breaking structure, I am leaning towards this to give us a bigger move towards the downside. All right. So all in all, just be patient. You know, you really got to let these setups come to us. And I hope those of you that, you know, saw how JPY played out, you see the correlations, you see price action. Price action and market structure is going to tell you everything you need to know. All right. So moving forward, you know, if you're on VIP, I'll keep you up to date. Any signals, any opportunities, live sessions. But again, be sure to like, subscribe. I appreciate all the support. And, you know, I'll keep them coming as long as I see opportunities. Y'all be blessed.